So, okay, you guys, so this is what I like to call the setup for the madness because I think after this video, since I introduced everything, we're gonna go into the documentation drop of the documents between these about these two. So, yeah, this is setup for madness. So, this is prelude to madness. So, let's get into it.
Okay, this isn't polyamory, it's poppyamory, TM. Proof of Xena and Poppy's emotional abuse of Noe Flake leading up to the trip, and how they coerced and abused her into going on the trip even after she expressed not being interested in continuing the relationship. Remember, Noe Flake is somebody that Poppy accused of by deception. This is how they practice consent in private. October stream about personal drama. The now hidden clip from their stream in October about how polyamory works. It's half an hour, but if you want to see what they had to say in public, it's pretty revealing. Yeah. Okay. Twitter. October. You know, philosophically, I love spoilers. They're wonderful creatures and not always dangerous. Oh, not spoilers, sorry. You know, philosophically, I love spiders. They're wonderful creatures and not always dangerous to humans. Can be cute pets. However, there is a deep fear rooted in the narrow marrow of my bones, and it wants to flee the country when I see a big one in person. Noe Flake replies, I will hold them and carry them away for you. Miss April Bond,
Okay, so on the screen, this Amy person is Noe Flake's other partner. So we get this understood. It's Amy is Noe Flake's other partner. Okay, let's continue.
Then Amy replies, he. Only the time, the only time I'm fine with them is when someone else is terrified of them because one of us has to be useful. Good to know. I won't have to. Noe Flake says, I love spiders, lol. Amy says, oh, I know. You weren't the reason for this post, but you did come into mind, Lamau. Noe says, I always come to mind, but good to know. And then Amy says, you do come to mind quite a lot. And then Poppy replies, oh, like, think of her a lot. Poppy replies, no, I shouldn't interact with you. Poppy says, love getting a panic attack by running into a metamor. This is what Poppy defined in that video we just watched. So Noe, I guess, was kind of just being flirty with Amy. And Poppy saw this interaction on Twitter. And Poppy already got upset by it.
And the insane thing is, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, Poppy, why didn't you just block Noe Flake and Amy on Twitter altogether? Why, if you know this bothers you, why are you following them on Twitter? Why are you media stalking them? Just block them so you don't have to see that interaction. Problem solved. But no. It gets better.
Metamor. So just so we know the vocabulary here, just so we know the vocabulary here, metamor is a term related to non-monogamy that refers to your partner's partner. Whether or not you're interested in meeting your metamors is a personal decision for each individual and each polycule. Wanting or not wanting to meet a metamor are both valid decisions. Yeah, partner of my partner. So already Poppy, and one of her alters, I guess, one of her alternate Twitter accounts, she gets triggered by seeing this interaction between Noe Flake and Amy. Love getting a panic attack by running into a metamor. And Poppy quote tweets herself saying, I have very real trauma around interactions with metamors. Today did not make that better. I worked off to fix the situation and the other partner acts like a child. Bridge burned. Seriously, fuck you guys. Going forward, due to said trauma, I think I'm going to be very hesitant to interact with or know very much about any of my partner's partners. I also do not want to hear about my past situations beyond safety. I do not want to hear about past situations beyond safety behavior. These are hard boundaries. Additional screenshot, Poppy's odd treatment of Sage's suicidal/depressive episodes. May is in reference to Sage's attempt. I think I was right in May. Poppy says, love, please stop. This isn't cool. And then Sage says, sorry for the inconvenience. Dude, Poppy is not only like trans. Poppy is one of these people who has alters and believes they have like multiple personalities. It's just such a show. Like the only thing we can do is like really make fun of these people, you know?
Yeah, and you guys also do not forget, Poppy does not just have one altar like normal people, BPD. No. They have to have 3 altars. We have 3 altars for Poppy. So as Star here continues to read these Twitter threads, you're going to see it's absolutely absurd.
Just people like this make the community look so bad. And I know that they're not the normal, but because they're so loud and out there, like they make the community look so bad. And you know, they have access to all other vulnerable people, right? They have access to other vulnerable people because guess who's going to be most vulnerable and most easy to take advantage of? Other people who have home lives, who have families who disown them, who have personal issues that they're dealing with, intense internal struggles. And you know, a lot of trans youth really fall into that. A lot of trans youth fall into those categories. You know, who knows better about being abandoned by family than like the trans community, right? Like, you know, it's just people like this have so much access to impressionable people who have nothing else in their lives. And anyways, continuing, Penny Diabolique, another personality of Poppy, says, watching my headmate try to sabotage her relationship is painful. She knows better. I know she knows better. She knows better, but it is a compulsion. She is trying to prove her partner doesn't love her. Please don't fall for it, little moth. Oh, Madeline, we're really in the shit again. Noe Flake says, I would never fall for it. No worries, pretty shark. Penny says, good moth. I miss you. Please reach out if you need help with Poppy. We all love you.
And as you see, Poppy's going to be switching through 3 freaking altars. And she will do a whole bunch of stuff you'll see through this conversation on Twitter. And then she'll come back with the altars to excuse her bad behavior. That's all these altars are for her, to excuse her bad behaviors, and it's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating to watch.
Then this is another altar by Poppy. Well, it was too good to last. My nice calm and relaxation for my edible, plus talking to my partner who is away, has faded. Now there is just this background hum of anxiety. Intrusive thoughts about people I love in other people's bed isn't fun, but I'm getting through this. That's pretty convenient that Poppy created a Twitter account for each multiple personality. Good online presence. Wait, are they talking about Poppy's altar about Poppy? Bruh, ban furries, all of them? Yeah, they're furries too. Poppy's a furry too, as if the altar wasn't enough. When I talk about intrusive thoughts, it feels like people wonder what is so bad about seeing two people. Imagine a closed-eye mini fever dream with a person you love banging someone you do not recognize but are primordially scared of. And then this sage.
And from that last statement alone from Poppy is so selfish and inconsiderate. She doesn't want to see her partners interacting with their other partners, and because she goes into these imaginary them being intimate with each other. But as you're gonna see when we go through the documents, Poppy took her main bitch, which is Zena, to go see No Flake, and I think Zena waited in the lobby or was in the same room as Poppy was being intimate with No Flake, and they had absolutely no care for their then partner Zena. But God forbid anybody else makes Poppy feel uncomfortable. The whole thing, you guys, is so messy. It's delicious. I'm loving it. I know that some of you guys are like, what the heck is this? But I'm into it. Just indulge me, guys. Just indulge me.
Each person is like one of Poppy's partners, right? Sage tweets out, I hate having to mute people I care about because their posts trigger every insecurity and fear I have. Makes coming here so much less enjoyable, and I feel like for not being able to just be happy for them and feeling resentment instead. Maybe I'm just bad at this. Maybe the end result is I'm going to have to just set a hard boundary on certain interactions from here on out because living like this is super tiring. Then Poppy says, no, you have BPD. I have a partner muted right now, so I can't see vacation pics. I get it. Sage says, doesn't make me feel less like. Then Poppy says, same. I literally am beating myself up because I can't look at Noe Flake's timeline without it being digital self-harm.
Okay, so before I forget, so Sage is also Poppy's other partner. So we got Sage, we got No Flake, we got Zena. At this point, we're all Poppy's other partners. So Poppy's on Twitter complaining about seeing No Flake flirting with Amy. Poppy wasn't having that. But Sage is watching Poppy get upset over No Flake, but absolutely has no care for Sage's feeling, even though Sage is also her partner. You guys, this is so ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Do what you need to do. You are not or weak. You're a person with BPD that I want to survive, goddammit. Maybe don't be poly if your partner having other partners hurts you that bad. Yeah, seriously. I had to meet my partner in DMs for an hour. I'm not in a great headspace. I just found out that a friend betrayed me, and every message just keeps bringing up intrusive thoughts of either what she's doing, more of her other partner sitting over her shoulder. I don't understand that tweet. ideations now. Love that for me. The desire to disappear because I had to make a boundary temporarily and silently because voicing it out loud would have been too painful. Man, poly is too much for me. I can barely handle one woman. Yeah. I rarely get to be the fun partner. I'm too serious, passionate, and sensitive. It sucks because too many of my convos turn serious because BPD gets triggered. Okay, another one.
And now what Star is reading from right now is from Puppy's other authors. I think it's like, let me see. We got this one, we got Pepper, we got Peppermint. Yeah, there's like 3 authors. So this is one of Puppy's other author.
1. Back at it again. Remember, 1. Try not to be clingy. 2. Remember that she's coming back and is in love with you. 3. You trust her. 4. She's willing to work with you and she supports you. 5. Speak up about needs. Do not obfuscate. Lady Diabolic then tweets, one of the things that makes BPD so hard is the self-loathing. I hate feeling this way. I hate that I question my partner's motives, nitpick everything, and can feel rejection at the drop of a hat. All I can hope is that my partners love me and don't hate me. It's not really my thing, but good morning to everyone who celebrates it. This bitch uses the word boundary too much and it's never used properly. Yeah, it's wild. They should say mute. Poppy had to mute her partner because she didn't want to go into a black split. Damn it, proofread. I'm thankful for my pretty little moth, Noe Flake. I don't even know where to begin. I love you so much. This has been the definition of a whirlwind romance, and despite my mental illness, you have hung in there and supported me in every way possible. God, you mean the world to me. Imagine getting all of these notifications from these mix of like different personalities or whatever, supposed different personalities. My partner is catching pipe and I'm crying while jerking off. Hit send. Yeah, wow.
I mean, I get that hindsight is 2020 because I'm sitting here thinking like, why didn't Netflix just block Puppy in all social media platform and just call it a day? Because it's gonna get worse, you guys. It's gonna get worse. Like hindsight again, 2020.
Wow, wild. BPD is like a Pokemon for these people. Gotta catch all those abusive tendencies. Okay, I am deeply thankful for Xena. They are my best friend and one of the most important people in my life. I don't think I would be alive right now without them. It's their love and inside and wisdom that keeps me here and stable. I love you, my bunny. I am thankful for my pretty little moth, Noe Flake. I don't even know where to begin. I love you so much. This has been the definition of a whirlwind romance, and despite my mental illness, you've hung in there and supported me in every way possible. God, you mean the world to me. I'm thankful for my partner, Autumn. Even just the occasional heart or message means a lot to me. You cheer me up when I'm struggling. You are always honest and direct with me. I'm so glad that we connected. I care so much for you. I'm thankful for my partner, Sage Alexis. I know we're in a weird place right now. We've had to endure the abuses of so many people, right? People we thought were friends. No matter how we shift, I want you in my life, and I'm thankful for you being here. I love you. I am thankful for a new friend and potential partner, Mally Alley. You are so sweet and so kind. You bring light to every room you walk in and make me feel so much better about myself. I wish I could see me the way you see me. I look forward to introducing you to my family today. I'm thankful for Hanging Wednesday, one of my dearest and oldest friends, as well as everybody in another part of Michigan who I get to see today. You are all my found family. I love you all so much. December.
Oh my God, except for the last one, Lord, you guys, except for the last thank you, whatever, to Wednesday. All those people that Puppy was thanking or the altar was thanking is Puppy altogether. Let's be for real. It's all part of a manipulation tactic. Those are all her partners, aside from Xena. So we get this straight. Xena is the main bitch that lives with Puppy, but all of these other people are her partners.
Okay, Poppy tweets out, if you say you love someone, but then try to protect the person who hurt/abused them, regardless of who they are, your love is conditional. Sometimes you have to draw lines in the sand. Then she tweets from another account, I have never been so angry. The data doesn't line up. If someone wanted to get a hold of Poppy, they have thousands of ways. This suggests they didn't try. If the timeline doesn't match up, they are either wrong or lying. Why does everyone get the benefit of the doubt but us? And then she quote tweets herself from another Twitter account, can't calm down, Sharko. Like, we're all mad, but it will be okay. I have faith in her. Noe Flake will hear us. It will just take time, and stop posting to Twitter. Like, what is this? Why are these posted publicly? These are private messages. I don't know, dude. This is so weird. I that up. You don't say. I have a video date tonight with a lady who's very special to me, and she might be wearing the dress about her. And hopefully on the weekend of the 22nd through 25th, I can take her out of it. Gross. I that up is quote tweeted. So last night during my date, one of my headmates decided to use this as an opportunity to go off instead of visiting our partner, which completely tired everyone out and the mood. I'm so angry. It sounds like she's just using headmates as like a way to excuse her own behavior. Anyways, I made a huge mistake. So last night during my date, I'm so angry, whatever. 4 days, 1 hour, 36 minutes until Friday when I leave with ZZ to go see Noe Flake for Christmas.
Yep, you guys, this is the behavior before 4 days before seeing this person. 4 freaking days. They've never met. I think they only talked on voice calls, on Twitter DMs. But yeah, they've never met. And they're acting like this. And again, hindsight is 2020. No flick, girl. This was your time to pick it up and run and change your number, do what you gotta do. But yeah, hindsight is 2020.
Looking at her. Hey, Noe Flake, 3 days, 11 hours, 38 minutes until I have to leave to come see you. Some cringe poem. Well, she used one of her headmates to claim that leaving her was equal to abandoning a child, so, oh my god, dude. Hey, Noe Flake, 2 days, 5 hours, and 11 minutes to go until we leave to come see you. Headmates, so Chase, headmate is basically what she's referring to as, like, she believes she has alters, so headmates are, like, kind of like roommates, but, like, headmates, you know? That's how it is. Anyways, Poppy says here, I love you, Noe Flake. What is this picture? Why would you send this? You have crazy eyes in this picture. Etsy was having sales on Black Friday, and I don't know why, but this piece of sterling silver Luna Moth called out to me. No idea why. Winky face. Liked it so much I bought two, but the other one is going to someone special and should be arriving any day now. With at Noe Flake. Okay, before the trip. So we've been gone for a minute. Toxic situations, mental, I don't know. Jesus Christ. So this is the stream in question. Okay, let's see.
We are alive. Oops. We're also very gay.
So just so you guys know some context here. 12:20 DMs after stream. That's lame. Apparently we were on stream and I was vaguely talking about how happy I was with my new relationship as well as the mental illness I've been dealing with. Apparently Sage saw this and got super triggered and started having ideations. So we had to check to see if she was safe, and she is, but apparently my ex Melina, a friend of ours, and told them before anyone else knew that Sage was safe. We have no idea how she got that information from any of us. Weird. Yeah, it irritates me. I kept things vague on stream, but Melina is harping saying that I am ignoring Sage for you and I caused this, which I did not. I have no idea, love. No worries. It's just more nonsense. I'm focusing on the positive, getting to snuggle you. Wait, so like why is Poppy entitled to comfort from her partners, but when her partner has the same issue and it has like a panic attack over hearing about the metamors or whatever you call it, Poppy is completely unsympathetic towards them.
Exactly, Teardrop. That's the same question all of us are having. It's like, wait a minute, you want everybody else to be sympathetic towards you, but you're not sympathetic towards your other partners. So selfish, man. So selfish.
That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. Channel updates, harassment, ideations, mental illness, relationship issues. You don't need to share everything online.
So you're probably wondering where we've been for 2 months, and
I'm wondering where we've been.
good point. So one of the things that we are, well, and there's probably a lot of people asking questions as to why was the channel content slowed down so far, and what was going on with us at the time, because we were being,
well, they do look a little bit cleaner here. Just only because only Poppy matters, of course. This drama is so convoluted and crazy.
very vague on social media. And so to talk about that, I have to talk about a couple concepts. One of the things I need to bring up is that
dude,
I'm poly, as is ZZ.
Yes.
And while ZZ doesn't pursue a large number of partners, they prefer to hang out and educate and take care of baboos and do that fun stuff. I tend to date a decent number of people, and I have.
You guys, what the heck are baboos? Are those the other side chick? What are baboos? Anybody know? Let me know.
Or partners and 1 or 2 playmates. One because of one of the people I'm already playing with, and another one
4 partners and 1 or 2 playmates.
Wants to be a maid to my house while certain things are happening. Moving on. Anyway, the point being is that because of that, usually I'm able to handle this stuff pretty okay, because my borderline definitely gets triggered. There's definitely difficulties with it, but for the most part, I'm able to handle it and deal with it. The only person that's not true with was, up until the last 4 months, was ZZ, because ZZ is an FP. For those who don't know, in borderline personality disorder, which I'm diagnosed with, there's a concept called FP, and that refers to...
I love it when they have to do the rundown every so often so you don't forget about what they diagnosed themselves with. It's... yeah.
Favored person. And what this is, the idea is that there's a person who, for whatever reason, matches your psychology, matches...
What is babu? This whole drama segment needs a glossary. I'm assuming it's like a way of saying baby or something. I don't know. Why is she calling them playmates? Like this is a bunny ranch or daycare, ew. Because I guess they're just there to...
your way of thinking, your internal narratives. And what ends up inevitably happening is you build a very, very quick connection with this person. Now, sometimes this can be a relative, sometimes it can be a friend, but where it gets really intense is when it is someone that you love, someone that you are romantically interested in. Then it becomes a thing. It's borderline. Fear of abandonment, extreme mood swings, unstable relationship, impulsive, self-destructive tendencies, unstable self-image, self-harm, paranoia, dissociation, chronic feelings of emptiness. One of the things that happened about 5 months ago, is I started talking to a girl that I've had a crush on for about a year. And this girl was somebody that I occasionally checked in on and just thought she was beautiful. She was a trans girl, and I thought she was absolutely radiant. And I literally was like, oh, I'm just not going to shoot my shot, because I am going to be very disappointed. Because a lot of very popular girls on Twitter have disappointed me for various reasons, either because they are incredibly weird about borderline, or for various reasons just don't seem to want to engage or whatnot.
What puppy means is that I've seen there's so many of these, you guys. Puppy's behavior on the Twitters are they're very overzealous with every new girl they come across. They're very, very overzealous. They're like Pokemon, you gotta collect them all. She wants every single one of them, and a lot of times she's terrible at flirting, and a lot of time she comes across really, really extra creepy. That's why.
And so what happened is that I took my chance right around when I got bottom surgery, a little bit before, which was back in August. And around September 4th, I had been asking back and forth, hey, you know, I want to date you. I really think you're beautiful. I think you're wonderful. I want to get to know you more. I know you have X number of other partners. I'm fine with that, but I really want to be with you. And so this person.
And for those who do not know, when Poppy is talking about bottom surgery, Poppy is a trans woman. So whoever jumps into this insanity that I'm interested in, and you just happen to watch this video instead of the other ones, Poppy is a trans woman. So when they say the bottom surgery, that's what we're referring to.
Went to their other partners and proceeded to, you know, talk to them, see what how they felt. They were fine.
Go through that polycules protocols.
Yeah, and long story short, well, not a polycule because I think the other people aren't with each other, but basically, long story short, is
group of poly people.
Yeah, a poly.
Okay, so just to using a BPD as an excuse for everything when you're 30 plus is wild amount. Yeah, it's crazy. So we're just gonna, dude, we just have to, the only thing we can do is just like laugh at this because it's so crazy. It's like even coming down to the people who wrote the docs on these people, like, it's funny to me that the people who wrote the documents on these two don't even realize how outrageous this is, how outside of the normal bounds of like society these people are, right? Like that is especially hilarious to me, is that they have no idea. Like the average normie looking at this is weirded out, you know? Like it is so outside. Like metamor, what the kind of term is that? The fact is works like what is going on? That there's just so much, the fact that we need to even understand what type of relationship they have and understand that there's like a whole subculture to this, and that they're part of some fringe online group with fringe political beliefs, and they have a fringe way of doing their relationship, and they have BPD, and they have ADHD, and they have this and they have that, and this all affects their relationship. Like even if they didn't do anything wrong, it would still be something hilarious to look at. Any normie trans person would look at this and be like, what the like what life are you living? You know? It's just it's incredible. It really is incredible.
Exactly. And that's why when I fall down this rabbit hole, I just happened to click on a video. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. Fall down this rabbit hole. I was like, what in the world did I just click on? You know, I had to know everything. I was intrigued. So yeah, you're correct, Star. You are correct. We're all out here intrigued. At least I am. Anyways, at least I am.
To me, 500 reasons why it's never their fault. Yeah, and trust me, we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Like we're just going over like kind of this person's documentation of the reasons why they find Poppy kind of abusive. Like there's some super funny stuff. I cannot believe that this just keeps getting longer. Well, like the information we have about Poppy. So not only are they abusive to their kid, they're abusive to their partners. Not only do they believe they have alters, they have a Twitter account for every single one of them. Not only do they have a Twitter account for every single one of their alters, they blame every bad interaction they have on one of their alters. Not only do they do that, they also have BPD, right? Like it's so long. It's so long.
So you guys, you see, this is why I'm so fascinated by these people. This is why I am so absolutely fascinated by these people. Like I had no idea that people like this existed. Like no tea, no shade. Like I had absolutely no idea that there was a world where this was happening.
There's so much here, and I feel like it just keeps getting more and more. They have play partners? What is a play partner? Are you Hugh Hefner? What is going on? How come none of the alters is named Bob, Jake, or Mitchell? I don't know. It's like they're in an online sitcom, LOL. You couldn't make this character up. I can't believe this person is real. It's hard to believe they're able to provide professional therapy. How did they get through a master's program? Did an alter take one test and another alter take another test? How did you study with all these alters floating around in your head? Alters duking it out on Twitter. Xena, what the run, girl? Yeah. What the The internet has allowed freaks to find each other too easily. and abuse each other. Exactly. She should never be someone's therapist. That's legit scary. I am literally just thinking about like the person who has court mandated therapy and like shows up to the appointment and finds this person.
Network, whatever. But the point being is that what inevitably ended up happening is they decided it was fine. I got to start dating the girl I had a crush on for over a year, and it was very, very nice. And there have been some missteps because this person became an FP. Now, with most borderline people, you get one, but there are cases in which some people will get two. And so feelings of disconnection from either Xena or this other person will cause me to get into panic attacks, things like that. It is not fun. And because of some of the early missteps in the relationship, such as, a boundary being missed, not intentionally, just being missed, going into a lot of detail about previous experiences, which is something that's a trigger for me, bringing up like too much information about partners or interactions can be really rough, bringing up, desires that come up because of.
And this is the reason why people keep on telling Poppy, like, dude, you are not meant to be in a poly relationship. You cannot handle it. A normal person cannot handle being in a poly relationship. But she's just like, I don't care. I still want to be in a poly relationship. But when things don't turn out her way, she comes to the interwebs crying about it. It's like, that's how poly works. Why are you in a poly relationship?
PD, like there's a tendency to overly fantasize about the future, bringing that to the person, and the other person sort of doesn't interact with it great.
Or rebuffs.
Who would?
Yeah, and so the problem is like none of these are on her. These are things that most people would.
This is what happened after Reagan. Oh god, dude. She's still bitching about being into polyamory. I guess, yeah. This is apparently relevant to the document. So there's this. So she's like talking about going to see Noe Flake. Is this FP thing actually real? It sounds a lot like twin flame. FP is a real term that they use for like BPD people. Yeah, they have a favorite person, and this Poppy is claiming to have 2 FPs now.
Never even think of.
Well, and refresher for borderline too. Borderline really, really does have to do with abandonment. That is a really big core thing about it, and that can be real or perceived. Both count, and both will bring up very, very extreme emotions about that. It is pretty well known that like a lot of times with like mood and emotion, a lot of borderline people with borderline feel that very intensely. Like if the max that that the general population might feel is like a 10, your person with borderline might be at like an 11, and that's just all the time. Like there's a lot of really big intense emotion, which demonstrates.
And you know what? The one thing that makes me laugh about these two that I have noticed is every time when Xena talks, Poppy always looks disinterested. They could not be bothered. They could not care. They remind me so much of Shani and Rav. Every time those two stream together and Rav start talking, you could tell Shani could care less. She just wants him to shut up so she can keep on talking. That's what these two remind me of.
Traded throughout like
Every issue she's ever had, she's never like, I need to work on that. It's just that's how it is, and everyone needs to deal with it and walk on eggshells for me. Yeah, Jesus.
Picture that Poppy shared. And
long story short is that I had never had this situation happen before. I have never had another partner who became an FP. So having 2 FPs suddenly threw me for a loop because all of the personal work that I'd done over the last 15 years didn't feel as effective. And again, none of this was ZZ's fault. None of this was anyone else's fault. It just kind of what was. One of the major.
Again, it sounds like you shouldn't be in a poly relationship if it's that hard for you to deal with having a favorite person.
Reasons why we've been away.
So do ADHD have that? ADHD has what, Mad Max?
Is that over the last 2 months, starting in November, my partner went to the other side of the country to visit another partner, one who, due to a mistake done early on, had been coded in my brain as unsafe, which again, I don't believe that's actually true, but that's the way my brain coded it. The last 2.
What she means there is that she was upset and got jealous that that partner went to see the other partner. That partner wasn't only just that partner only. They had other partners. That's what really upset her. That's what she's trying to say without saying it.
2 months have been hell.
A lot of chaos.
Not because of anyone's fault, but because dealing with 2 FPs who may get into conflict, which then causes me to feel torn in half, and not to mention a bunch of other things, ended up bringing up some really, really difficult emotions. A lot of feelings of worthlessness, a lot of feelings of being unworthy, a lot of, I'll be honest, desire for self-harm and suicidal ideations. There was
rejection sensitivity. Oh, okay. She 100% shouldn't be. She gets very pissed when talking about how people don't have a right to tell her she shouldn't be poly. That is wild. I think she's just not built for it, and that's okay.
Was a couple times during this last couple months where there was a legitimate concern that I might harm myself. So much so that the 2 firearms we own
were moved
to a friend's house. And again, I don't put.
Jesus. Then why are you in a poly relationship? If you cannot handle your partners having other partners and then being intimate with the other partners, why are you in a poly relationship? Make this shit make sense.
This on either of my partners. I don't put this on any of my friends. I haven't had to deal with a new FP, a new favorite person, in 7 years, 6 or 7 years since I started with ZZ. And I ended up being in a really, really rough situation where, the girl of my dreams, essentially, I was afraid that I would lose her at any moment. And especially during this trip, I've talked about this on the channel before, but a lot of people here are new. So I'll just reiterate this, is I have trauma around people dying. In 2004, my partner, my wife, was riding a horse. She was an expert rider, had done dressage, I think is the word. And what ended up happening was she was just riding slowly down the street, didn't have a helmet on because she didn't think she needed one. Again, they were just walking the horses slowly on top of them. And a dog ran out of someone's property, scared the horse, knocked her down, hit her head, and she never woke up again. And then suffered brain death 5 days later, leaving me a widower and leaving me with a 4-year-old. I have very real trauma and memories around what I saw when I got to that road and saw what was all over it. And it was not great. I won't go into details. When I get paranoid about my relationships because of BPD, it doesn't just come up as a fear of, in some way, the person cheating on me or leaving me. Sometimes I'm just actively afraid they're going to die.
Well, and your brain actually has
data points to prove it.
Yeah, data points.
I mean, poor you, Papi, poor you. How about the 4-year-old, not the 24-year-old, that lost their parent, their mother, their only biological parent in the scene? They don't know their real father. How about them? But everything has to be about Papi. Every single effing thing has to be about Papi. Ugh. You're exhausting, dude. You are exhausting.
To prove it, and also like memories of what a loved one.
Everyone has trauma from people dying. It's common. Yeah, this is not special. I think that is the word. Bro, that's just anxiety. Yeah.
Dying looks like. It can almost, I think, be more, just as difficult as the times where your brain's coming up with like fantasies. Or not. I don't want to say like, not like the good kind of fantasies, but like usually I think we say intrusive thoughts. It is somewhat of a different game when you are dealing with a way that your brain has a way to kind of make fears come real. Or feel as real as possible.
Yeah. So
yeah, no reason to take it out on your kid. Like, you don't think the kid was traumatized too by losing their mother?
That came up was that between this trip, which I want to be really clear, my partner was amazing for. We ended up creating some relationship accommodations. There were regular calls, which unfortunately led to some fights with ZZ, but that happens. What ended up happening is, what I'm trying to convey here is not looking for necessarily sympathy for my wife. I mean, this was a long time ago. We're literally next year, it'll be 20 years. So when I say that I'm not as affected by that as I once was, I mean it. The issue I have is that
I was left with a kid. Your kid was also left with no mom. Lamau, yeah.
Stuff comes into my current relationships, especially with FPs. And so this week that I went through was hell. But my partner stayed with me and worked with me, and ZZ, when they were able to, were supportive, and we got through it. But over the last 2 months, this prompted some other things to happen. One of my partner's partners was supposed to block me after the whole kerfluffle at the beginning of the relationship. It was decided.
I mean, come on, Papi. If you knew you were going to be so bothered and you're so bothered, why didn't you block the partner's partner? Why did they have to block you? Why didn't you block them? Make this shit make sense, people. Make this shit make sense.
Just to keep me separate from the other ones because I just didn't feel safe with them. And so I said, just block me. I'll block you. We're just going to be mutually blocked. We can try to fix it later.
Well, and BPD is very, very good at the impulsive stuff. And, some of the other different ways that like comparing yourself to others can come up for BPD.
In fact, going on to other people's social media, looking at their pictures, things like that can easily start turning into digital self-harm. And so I had asked for all these people to block me because I wanted the other number of partners to not have access to me. And
did she just say digital self-harm? Is that a thing? Can somebody let me, is that a thing? Is digital self-harm a thing? All you had to do was just block the person from the get-go. What the F? What the F?
Well, and for you to not have a bad moment either and go searching their stuff.
Well, what happened was one of the people in question never blocked me.
I support going back to the time when we just called people freaks and laughed at them. Oh, these people are actually, they are absolutely freaks. They do believe these people are real. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Lied about it. And I ended up just going with it because I didn't
want to cause another fight. How dare they not block you? Yeah. How about you just block them? Take some agency into your hands.
And so this created an unfortunate problem where I was still seeing this. And then when I was in a really bad moment at night, I ended up continually going to this person's stuff, looking at stuff where they were interacting with my partner, seeing them be romantically interactive, getting really triggered, yada, yada, yada. It was not fun. I ended up making the ideations worse because I know of the story, the kerfluffle that created this whole thing. It ended up being a big trigger for me and bringing up intrusive thoughts. The reason why I don't like to hear about my partner's previous exploits, especially with current partners, is that I will start seeing them graphically, visually in my head.
Don't understand Star. They don't have agency because they have PD. Jesus Christ. She's really small too. That sucks. Yeah.
They are intrusive thoughts. They are not fun. They are painful, and I feel like I'm dying. To put this in perspective, my point is that I want to give you the framework of kind of what's going on. Now, long story short, is I'm doing much better now. I've been back in therapy, been dealing with my therapist who is...
So according to her Psychology Today profile, she has training and treatment of ADHD and BPD. So she should know, right? She should know what she needs to do. She has training in ADHD and in BPD. That, like, and you can't, she should not be a therapist. She really shouldn't be.
One of the heads
if you know
of
better,
one of
do
the
better.
counseling
True,
programs.
CashAPP.
And she's amazing. She's a wizard. Zizi's been coming to sessions with me, which is really nice. Things have been slowly but surely getting better with my other partner. Slowly but surely making our way to being a little more functional and dealing with some things. Like, for example, discussions of future stuff, because we are all adults here and
Her
that stuff's
license is
important.
still active.
And
Yeah.
right now the partner in question is struggling with a very hard decision, which I do not envy. Basically deciding, does she go to one partner and potentially lose this relationship because it fades off because me being away from FPs is not great? Or does she, eventually somewhere in a year or two down the line choose to be with me and Xena
In some format.
with the potential of that other relationship fading off? I don't know why. That's just what was said. I bring this up because I love this person deeply. She is amazing. She is absolutely gorgeous. I have not been this profoundly in love since this one, which has brought some headache up because most of the time my other partners don't occupy my brain 24/7, or I don't get stuck on a problem because I'm trying to grind it out and figure out how to fix it. So I wanted to give this thing, because we're going to talk about other stuff, but I want to be really clear that, like, beyond the stuff that was going on with me, there's other stuff with ZZ. ZZ can talk about that for them. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because we're trying to set the stage to understand that the reason why we've been away has only been partially due to some of the things happening with the channel. And
So this live stream was a setup for the meetup, and they were here to address the behavior towards Noah, Snowflake, on the Twitters and their behavior. So they have to come here and give a whole bunch of excuses. My mentals, my BPD, my 3 personality, my chronic headaches, my fibromyalgia, my left foot, my right foot. That's what the purpose of this live stream was really about, to get Snowflake not to run away and change their mind about meeting them, because I think they realized that behavior on the Twitters had the potential of chasing them away. And then they switched over to a whole bunch of other BS I didn't care to cover on this particular one. I didn't feel it was necessary. So I think for next video, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the fallout, the messiness, the nitty-gritty, the messy, the delicious stuff. That's what we're gonna do in the next video. But that's all I got for this one. I just wanted to make the setup for that next video. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Later. Bye-bye.